Cyrill Demian receives a privilege as a piano maker in Vienna, 1810. (1829) Cyrill Demian receives a patent for a new musical instrument called accordion. Exact data about the origin of Cyrill Demian are not known. It is written that he was born in Romania in 1772, and that he had Armenian roots. Demian is said to have come from Gurla.
Samusújvár.
The city of Gurla is said to have been founded in the 18th century by immigrant Armenians who had roots in Cilicia. On May 6, 1829, Cyrill Demian filed a patent in Vienna. Patent approval, May 23, 1829. General description. Cyrill and his two sons Karl and Guido, organ and piano makers, living in Vienna, describe the character of their newly invented instrument, called the accordion. First, in a small box, 7 to 9 zal long, 3.5 zal wide, and 2 zal high. In a small box, springs are mounted on brass plates. Springs are mounted on brass plates which have been known in organs for more than 200 years, with the name Regal. This statement by Demian has caused much confusion among some scholars, because the reed technique that Demian used in his accordion is not the same as in the Regal organs. Regal organs uses a stop reed technique that was invented around the end of the 15th and the beginning of the 16th century in Europe. A technique whereby a tongue strikes a frame and produces a buzzing, snoring sounds. While the technique of free swinging reeds, which Demian uses for his accordion, was developed much later in Europe between 1780 and 1821. Demian probably only meant the zonen that have already existed for more than 200 years and which are used in the Regal organs. Second, with the bellows attached to the boxes and the 5 keys, even an untrained musician can, after very little practice, produce the sweetest and most moving 3, 4, or 5-note chords. Third, each key on this instrument can play 2 different chords. This means that twice as many chords can be played as there are keys on the instrument. A pressed open key plays 1 chord when the bellows is pulled up, and the other chord when the bellows is pressed down. Which results in 10 possible chords with 5 keys. Fourth, since this instrument can be made with 4, 5, and 6 or even more keys, and the chords are arranged alphabetically, many well-known arias, melodies, and marches can be played in 3, 4, or 5-part harmony. Demian built already 1930 new models with 8 or 10 keys, with single reeds, with chords, and with extra bass reeds. The way his new accordion works is very similar to a harmonica, which was invented shortly before the accordion. But now, the wind is produced by bellows instead of the mouth, which is why the accordion is also called a hand harmonica, in German language, as opposed to a mouth harmonica, which is played with the mouth. The tone volume can be easily varied. The instrument fulfills all expectations of comfort and smoothness of tone. Fifth, the instrument, as shown in the attached drawing, weighs no more than 32 to 36 lot, with 5 claves and 10 chords. If the chords are increased, it will be longer in size and a few lots heavier. It is light and comfortable to carry, and should certainly be a welcome invention for travelers, people visiting the country, or for visitors of both sexes. Especially since it can be played without the help of a second person. The features that Demian mentions refer to similar musical instruments of the time, which were larger, more difficult to transport, and sometimes could only be played by 2 people. The whole instrument can be doubled with the bellows, so that the chords can be increased, or can also be played with single notes. In this case, a second insert with springs must be added, and also a second keyboard. The bellows remain in the middle, each hand works in turn either the claves or the bellows. By doubling the instrument, as described above, or by increasing the number of chords, no one would improve anything or provide anything new, because it only increases the components. The instrument becomes more expensive and heavier. According to the present drawing, the instrument costs 12 to 16 m. The difference in price is made by the elegant or less beautiful exterior. The fact that you can play a whole chord through one clave, we believe to be the most outstanding novelty. This drawing is based on the natural size, in which the instrument does not weigh much, or not more than 1 fund. But if it is to have a few more chords, it will always be 3/4 ZAO larger with 2 chords. G, H, D, F pound, C pound are metal plates with springs attached to the bottom, which respond when the bellows are pulled. A, C, E, G, D, plates with springs attached to the top, which respond when the bellows is pressed down. When a clave is pressed, 1 chord responds when the bellows are pulled. A second chord responds when the bellows are pressed down. The instrument is held with the left hand, so that the claves are at the bottom. The 4 fingers can be placed on the keys. The right hand moves the bellows sideways rather than upwards. A faster or more moderate movement of the bellows brings the expression of piano through crescendo into forte. The bottom comes over the leather-covered strips A, B, C, D, E, F, and closes the windbox, so that air can only enter or exit through the open valves. In Japan, in the Miho Jinja Shrine, there is a Demianin Accordion from the year 1841. It is the oldest accordion in Japan and was consecrated in the Miho Shrine in 1849. The shrine website describes that it was made in Vienna around 1841. The shrine is located in the harbor of Miho. 846 musical instruments have been dedicated to Miho Shrine. The deities of Miho Shrine are also worshipped for and with song and dance music. In addition to the accordion, the Miho Shrine also houses a beautiful Hu show from 1792. Hu stands for the bird Fenghuang, as the pipes are supposed to represent the wings of the Fenghuang bird as it sits in its nest, while Shou stands for the Chinese string organ, which first came to Japan around the 6th to 7th century. Shou is still played today in the Japanese court music Gagaku, and is considered to be the origin or inspiration of the European free reed instruments of the 19th century, such as the harmonica, the accordion, or the harmonium. All these instruments are played with a free reed technique. The accordion got its name because it could play accords. Accordions with single notes were also built very early on. These instruments were often tuned like the shortly before invented mouth harmonicas, or operated similarly. The instrument was also called hand harmonica in German-speaking countries. In addition to the accordion, similar instruments were developed using the same free reed principle. The look and construction of the accordion has changed many times over the years. Keys, or button accordions, with different techniques were developed in different countries. Curiously, the accordion or harmonica today is very similar to Leonardo da Vinci's organi di carta. The illustration by Leonardo da Vinci is dated to the year 1503 to 1505 from Folio 76R, Codex Madrid II.